Well, now it's Monday, which means 2 more days. Today is actually my last official day of work before vacation all Owen ever wanted. Vacation to Orlando getaway. I really did not plan that. I'm sorry. Sometimes that stuff kind of comes out. Hopefully you guys got a nice little laugh though. But I'm extremely excited because that means tomorrow will be my final day here. And then I can go to Orlando and I can be happy again. And that is awesome. I get to see all my friends and hang out at the parks. And it's just going to be a blasty blast of a time. And you guys are going to follow me because I'm going to be shooting multiple daily videos from inside the parks. So that's going to be awesome. And you're going to get a bunch of theme park content on this channel. So if you're not watching this because of anything but wrestling, you'll get something new to see, as well as what we gave you this past weekend. Now, yesterday, since this is Monday's video, yesterday I actually guested along with the other Horror Nights Updaters in a special podcast. So you can check that out if you'd like to on YouTube. It is Horror Nights Updaters on YouTube, so check that out if you get a chance to. I had a great time hanging out with all the group there. And I very much look forward to hanging out with them at Halloween Horror Nights coming up next week and the week after. And I can say that because opening night is this Friday, and that's going to be amazing, and I'm totally excited. And very excited the fact that I get to touch down on Wednesday in Orlando, get to check out Diagon Alley, get to have a bunch of new themed beverages, non-alcoholic of course, and I also get to hang out with friends, and I get to go to the team member preview, the advanced screaming. I'm actually going to be able to get into that, and I will be tweeting my live opinions. So if you don't want anything spoiled, I would stay off my Twitter account. So yes, I wanted to say that. And of course, another thing I planned on doing yesterday that I kind of let time get away from me, I would state that I was going to let this be the last few wrestling videos I did on this channel before I left for Orlando. And I said I can't promise I'm going to do Night of Champions or not. I'm going to try, but I can't promise it. Excuse me. I will state right now, as of this moment, here is the plan. Today is Monday. Monday means we're going to talk NXT Takeover 2 as well as Smackdown from this past week. And tomorrow, as in Tuesday's video, will of course be my Monday Night Raw recap. The final Raw I have to recap before October, which is good because Raw's been kind of blah lately, to say the least. And now I've also decided that I'm going to film a video that I'm going to put up at midnight on Wednesday morning. I'll do it early Tuesday, and I'll put it up Wednesday morning. So you guys all get 3 days of wrestling content, even though I'm probably going to be in bed by the time that that video comes out. Right afterwards, I'm going to go straight to bed because I have a flight at 7 in the morning. So yeah, that's in Columbus, which is about 2 hours away from here. So yeah, that's something I'm very much looking forward to. So I wanted to give you guys and girls out there a little heads up that this is the first of 3 final wrestling videos on the channel for the month of September. And I'm sorry I have to do that, but I don't have time to focus on the product when I'm in Orlando enjoying Universal and Disney. So yeah, I will have to bow out of wrestling recaps for a couple weeks, but I'll be back, and don't worry, I'll be back better than ever. So let's talk about NXT TakeOver 2, shall we? It's on a video without me having some sort of a kickstart in my hand. I swear to you, I don't do this on purpose. It's just the best drink I can have in order to get through these recaps. My throat's been a little parched lately, I apologize. Severe drop in weather lately. It's like 60 degrees here. And I'm headed towards 90 next week, so excuse me. Let's start with the opening. The opening is the normal WWE Then Now Forever, until it gets to The Undertaker. And then it starts kind of like garbling a bit, kind of like a Wyatt interruption, and you're interspersing NXT talent in there. And I really like this, and it actually shows that the NXT roster was taking over, given the fact this is TakeOver. So I thought that was a nice little touch that WWE threw in there. We start off the show with the team of Sin Cara and Kalisto, and they, of course, won the #1 contender tournament to determine the challengers for the Ascension here at TakeOver 2. And I should have known right here something was up, but because the day of TakeOver, the day that it actually came out on the WWE Network originally, they actually got new merch. Yeah, there were new merch that was created for Sin Cara and Kalisto, the Vaudevillains, which is a shirt I'm going to definitely have for Reunion this year, and strangely enough, the actual third one was Charlotte. So I should have known right there that new merch powers would allow them not to be defeated. So if I would have known that, I would have been like, yeah, my predictions are going to be wrong. And they were. So there. So we start off the show with Sin Cara and Kalisto, now known as the Lucha Dragons. I don't have an issue with this. It's a decent name. They're wearing matching blue and yellow gear. They got a brand new theme entrance. And of course they come out to face the Ascension. Now the Ascension, of course, have been NXT Tag Team Champions for 344 days. So almost a year, but not quite. It's kind of like the Rob Van Dam ECW television title run that almost went 2 years. But no, they stopped it right before it got to the milestone. It's good booking. I even wrote on my notes here, it says literally new merch powers. Sometimes it works. Dolph Ziggler's got a new shirt that's debuting tonight on Raw, so that probably is going to Reunion with me this year too. Hi, my name is Owen, and I buy a lot of WWE merchandise. Sorry. So let's pick up this match, shall we? And I've said this a billion times, I'm going to say it again. If you would take the hair off Rick Victor is a dead ringer for Christopher Daniels. And I think it's hilarious that he likes to use the STO as well. So it works for me. We pick it up midway through the match, Victor with a slingshot powerbomb, and it gets countered by a snap Hurricane Rana by Sin Cara. Victor tags in Connor, and he runs with a charging forearm, which knocks Kalisto off the ring apron. The charging avalanche to Sin Cara's back gets a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So Sin Cara with 2 back heel kicks when he tries to pick him up. Connor grabs the foot, gets caught with a grounded enziguri kick by Sin Cara. So Connor lays on the back, drops 2 elbows, and Connor locks in the front face lock, trying to make sure he doesn't escape. He walks on his tiptoes back to the corner, which I've never seen done before, and I think it looked really awesome. Tags in Victor. Sin Cara with a front flip, lands on his feet, tags in Kalisto. Kalisto comes in like a house of fire. He hits the high kick from the ring apron, nails the springboard flying body press, and that hits Connor with a kick to the side of the head when he's on the apron, catching him off guard, of course. Ducks Victor's clothesline and a springboard into kind of a sky twister press, basically is what it was. Like a springboard corkscrew flying body press. Nails a baseball slide drop kick onto Connor, knocks him out of the ring. Victor goes for a powerbomb, countered it into a very modified Code Red from Kalisto, and Connor makes the save right before the 3. Sin Cara comes in and low bridges the charging Connor over the top to the floor. Kalisto kicks Connor in the head for good measure. Sin Cara with a tope onto Connor, sending him hard against the ramp. Victor with a whip, reverse snap Rana by Kalisto. Victor gets knocked to the floor. And a pescado from Kalisto gets caught by both members of the Ascension. So they toss them over his head, and he attempts to land on his feet, and he kind of somewhat falls over to the side a bit, but still, it kind of works. And this allows for Sin Cara to leap through tope style with basically a double clothesline to both members of the Ascension. Kalisto tosses in Victor. He goes up top, and he goes for the moonsault. He lands on his feet, and Victor catches him off guard with the STO. They set up Fall of Man, and of course, this looks like it's going to be the end for the challengers here. But of course, Sin Cara kicks Connor out of the ring. Victor charges in and knocks Sin Cara off the ring apron. He goes for an O'Connor roll. He holds on, ducks the clothesline, and Kalisto with a Salida del Sol 1, 2, 3, and we have brand new NXT Tag Team Champions. Now, granted, I said I wanted the Vaudevillains to win this tournament, and I did want the Vaudevillains to win this tournament. But if they're going to be serious and run with this new Lucha Dragon Tag Team, I have no issues with this finish at all. And it also opens up the fact that I think before year's end we see the Ascension on the main roster. I think they're going to be really good. You know, honestly, I think a really good thing right now is utilizing the fact that you have Kane, he does whatever he wants. Randy Orton obviously in the top of the card, and Seth Rollins is gravitating towards the top of the card. He's pretty much there right now. The Authority needs a tag team. Why not Triple H go down to NXT that everyone knows is his baby and bring the Ascension and join the Authority and have the Ascension sicked on the tag team division in WWE? I think that's a brilliant idea. The problem is, eventually they're going to have to meet up with the Wyatts, and the Wyatts are heels right now, so you turn the Wyatts baby faces with Bray, so all three of the Wyatt family become baby faces that way, and they fight against the Authority. I think that's actually a good idea, to be honest. So, there was a rumor that CJ Parker was going to throw out a open challenge, and it was going to be accepted by somebody. Obviously, that's how open challenges are. And everybody on the internet's like, dude, it's going to be Kevin Steen. And I was like, no, it's not going to be Kevin Steen, not yet. It's like, dude, it's Devitt. And I was like, no, it's not going to be Devitt, not yet. It's like, dude, it's going to be Kenta. I was like, no, Kenta's doing something else that night. Who's it going to be? And I was like, well, it could be anybody. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Why can't this be somebody that's already on the main roster that is getting a reboot in his gimmick? That's exactly what happened. CJP comes out. His opponent is Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin has absolutely no entrance. CJP gets a full entrance. Baron Corbin gets no entrance. Very old school. He's waiting in the ring whenever CJ Parker comes out. And the funny thing is I'm also stating that as old school as the fact that that's obviously played up to television audiences to make me think that he's going to be a jobber in this match. This was not to be. Corbin just straight punches CJ Parker right in the jaw, catches him off the ropes with basically what it was. He catches him with a catch swinging into a flatliner. And it looked awesome, and he got a 3 off of that. So it looks like WWE is going to put some stake into Baron Corbin. I don't have a problem with it. He's got the good look, and he's got the height, he's got the skills. I mean, I think they can really do something with Baron Corbin if they want to. He's been kind of wasting away in tag team matches for quite a while. So I think that pushing him towards a singles run actually works pretty well. They don't really have a monster right now. You never know, maybe this actually could be a really good not necessarily a monster, but a good person to go into a singles run that didn't really get a chance before. This is another reason NXT really needs to bring in a secondary championship. I'm telling you right now, if NXT does not have a secondary championship by the beginning of 2015, I'm going to be completely shocked. As a matter of fact, I think NXT is going to start, as of this event, you know, the one on my birthday in a week. It's a week. In a week, they're literally a week from yesterday, they are going to have an NXT Championship match at Night of Champions. I think they're going to start treating NXT like another brand, like they should be doing in the first place. And stars like Baron Corbin definitely start making me think that they're actually going to do a secondary championship. You don't necessarily send Corbin right after Neville, you just have him kind of like move way up the roster. Corbin, in essence, could have been what they tried to do with Brodus Clay before he got released. When they pushed Brodus Clay as like, oh, you're going to take me seriously now. There's no more comedy now. I'm not going to dance anymore. I'm not going to be your Funkasaurus anymore. I'm going to be the monster that everybody wants me to be, and that's Big BC. And they had a nice run with him and Neville, and I think that's what they could possibly do with Corbin. But I'll tell you right now, Neville's kind of got his hands full right now. But we'll talk about that as we progress. Now, throughout the show, there were some very nice vignettes really putting over the 4 superstars involved in your Fatal 4-Way main event for the NXT Championship. And everybody is really showcased very well. From the NXT Champion, Adrian Neville, to Tyson Kidd, to Tyler Breeze, down to Sami Zayn. All 4 superstars put over very well and very successfully that they all could be potential winners this evening. So our next match is our hair versus hair match, and it is Sylvester Lefort taking on Enzo Amore. Now, Enzo, of course, has Big Cass in his corner, and Sylvester Lefort, of course, has Marcus Louis. which is really hilarious because Marcus Louis is something that's really interesting. Okay, Marcus Louis, to me, looks like Cody Rhodes mixed with Jason Mewes and a little bit of Drew from the 7th season of Face Off on Sci-Fi. Yeah, like all of them mixed together. And that's who Marcus Louis reminds me of. So Enzo and Big Cass, of course, found this magic elixir, this barrel, this bucket of liquid. And apparently, if you pour the liquid on something, the hair will immediately disappear. We saw what happened with Carmella's dog. This is actually the first time Carmella's actually been utilized in a vignette involving Big Cass and Enzo Amore. She actually will end up becoming their valet somewhere down the line. I don't know exactly when, but I know it does happen eventually. So this hair versus hair match, of course, Enzo and Big Cass come out and do their shtick, which is awesome. Enzo, of course, calls LaForte Sweet Boy, which is hilarious. He said he's going to punch him in the mouth. And that's basically what he's going to do. And, of course, he does his shtick, which the crowd in Full Sail eat up with a spoon, of course. My name is Enzo Amore. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. How you doing? Yeah, I totally didn't want to mock that there, but yeah, it rolls off the tongue. Seriously, it really does. So, yeah, that's where we pick up this match. It was short, and that's what it should have been. And it made perfect sense that this match was kind of bringing people down from what we saw in the previous match. I'm not talking about the squash from Corbin. I'm talking about the Lucha Dragons against the Ascension. But, of course, this is one of the crowd's favorite acts in NXT, and definitely they want to see the Legionnaires get their comeuppance, so that's pretty much what this was about. So he picked this up midway through the match, and a scoop slam on Enzo, 1 count only. Locks in a chin lock, does LaForte, and, of course, an elbow out from Enzo. Gets caught with LaForte by a knee lift. Whips him in, ducks his head, another knee lift again. Charges him with a knee in the corner and a straight kick to the back. A forearm drops Enzo like a bad habit. Another forearm. 2 gut shots. Snap jabs by Enzo, which Marcus Louis gets up on the ring apron to try for a distraction. And avoids Enzo, and LaForte clotheslines Enzo, gets a 2 off of that. Louis back on the apron, and Big Cass pulls him off and mows him over. In the ring, we ducks the clothesline, roll up 1, 2, 3, and Enzo Amore takes the win on Sylvester LaForte. After the match is over, the fans are chanting, "To the chair, to the chair, to the chair." I thought it was hilarious, actually. LaForte runs into a Big Cass clothesline, and the fans... I like this, actually. The fans went along with this, too. It was hilarious because it was like, Enzo... And then he slaps his chest, is like, "Get the bucket!" And everybody, of course, was going along with it because it seemed very familiar since the fact that we've heard it a lot of times in the state of Florida and another company. So, Big Cass picks up LaForte and carries him. Louis nails him from behind. LaForte bombs out. So, Enzo and Cass pretty much just beat the daylights out of Marcus Louis. They drag him into the chair after a big boot from Cass. Enzo, get the bucket, and of course, he says, "You're done," and he dumps the entire contents of this bucket, which looked to me kind of like suntan lotion, or, you know, honestly, it kind of looked like icing. It looked like icing. So yeah, that's what got dumped on the head of Marcus Louis, and of course he bombs out because he knows that this is like the most powerful nair that's ever invented, and he's probably going to lose all of his hair. How you doing? So yeah, I love this gimmick. I think it does continue. I think obviously heel's got to take back over. And I think that the fact that LaForte is not the one that got his head shaved, which is what the stipulation was, at least what we thought the stipulation was, makes me believe that this is going to have his hair legitimately on the line somewhere down the line too. And I think the feud between Enzo and Big Cass against the Legionnaires is far from over. And I think that's a good idea because right now it's being pushed very well for NXT. So, we get to see somebody from the past, a blast we haven't seen for quite a while, and that's JoJo, for those of you that watched her on Total Divas. She brings out the NXT General Manager, William Regal, to a great reaction. And of course, he's going to announce the debut of the newest superstar to enter the NXT roster, and that is Kenta. So Kenta comes out, Regal welcomes him to NXT. Kenta thanks him politely. He says, this is a dream come true, and I'm going to be starting over as a tribute to one of my heroes, which I believe is Hideo Nomo, the baseball player. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry, because I don't know anything about sports. And his name is going to be Hideo Itami, not Otami. Itami. I-T-A-M-I. I actually like this, Hideo Itami. I think you actually can chant it very well. And he says his goal is to become the NXT champion. Here comes the Ascension. And of course, they're still a bit butthurt because they lost tag team titles. So Victor and Connor are going to try to make an example of Kenta. Yeah, this isn't going to work very well. So Victor kicks him in the midsection. They toss Itami out of the ring. He's like, you know what? We're in a bad mood. And he, of course, is doing this to try to make an example on Itami to get through to William Regal that the Ascension are dead serious about wanting a rematch, and they want it now. Well, of course, Itami gets in the ring and is like, this ain't gonna happen. So he loosens his tie, and he's ready to fight. He ducks Connor's clothesline, he Yakuza kicks Victor's head off, and then he hits a discus elbow on a Connor, and the Katubu kick, which is the roundhouse kick, to Victor. The Ascension bomb out, and of course they decide they want to fight again. So they jump up on the ring apron, and Itami nails them with a 1-foot drop kick to both of them, like basically a double drop kick to both. Knocks them off the apron. He goes outside, gets a chair, and instead of going to swing it, he puts it right as a line between the two. He sets it and is like, come on, bring it on. So I like this. I like this a lot. And I like the fact that Hideo Itami is going to end up being the next opponent for the Ascension. I think Itami ends up working with a tag team partner in some form. I think this is actually a good idea to bring Sho Funaki back. I heard that Funaki's involved in this somehow in the tapings. I don't know exactly what happens, but there's a way to do that if they really want to go that direction. And for those of you who have never seen the Kenta matches, check them out. Go watch his Ring of Honor stuff, please, please do. Watch his Japanese stuff, watch his ROH stuff, and you see how many superstars have taken from Kenta's repertoire. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk come to mind immediately. So yes, really awesome to see Hideo Itami now in WWE as way of NXT. I like the fact that he's going to work with the Ascension first. It's interesting. And I was wondering if there was any connection to them from the past, and there's not. So this is just a straight, fresh program that they came up with in creative. So I think this actually might work pretty well. Speaking of things that don't work pretty well, I'm going to talk about, obviously, Bull Dempsey and Mojo Rawley. Thank God this was short. They brawled. They fought. Bull was on top. Hit the diving headbutt. Got the win. Hit it again after the match was over. Just basically an elongated squash for Bull Dempsey, as it should have been. Mojo Rawley, they need to go back to the drawing board with him. And I think that it's probably best, if you're going to use Mojo Rawley, you might as well turn him heel, because the fans have already turned on him anyway. So, who knows, you can do something with that. Bull Dempsey is, I know they throw around this term a lot, and it's a throwback. But honestly, when it comes down to it, I think Bull Dempsey has a better upside than Mojo Rawley ever will. So hopefully they do something with it. And if they're going to continue this feud, like I said, utilize the fact that Bull brings out that chain. I think that they need to have a chain match between these two. If they're wanting to continue the feud, they have to end it with a chain match. Perfect way to do it. You have Bull come out during a Mojo match and just beat him with a chain. Mojo's like, you know what? I want you in a chain match because I want to prove to you that you're nothing without your chain, and you're going to be even less when it's wrapped around your neck. So yes, that's what, if they're going to continue that, that's what I think they should do. If not, just forget it, just blow it off. Don't worry about it. So Enzo's in the back, and he's pretty mad because all he wants to do is see someone bald. And of course, he's like, seeing is believing, like Sasquatch, which made me laugh. Enzo and Cass run into the Legionnaires. Of course, Louis has a towel on his head, and he's kind of licking his wounds. So, it's funny because Enzo yells, La Four! And the next thing you know, he just charges out like it's a Monty Python sketch. And Louis is left by himself. Cass picks up Louis and they carry him to the ring. So they toss him in the ring and they hit the inverted atomic drop, and that's by Cass. Enzo shows the bald head of Marcus Louis, which is kind of patchy. And I'm not just saying that just to be funny. I'm saying because it's patchy. It's like there's patches of hair there. It's kind of like you can. It's like when someone cuts their hair and they don't know what they're doing, like I've done before. I never got that bad, thankfully. But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, there's patches here. They're missing everywhere. It's kind of like your head's a checkerboard. I know it's funny because Enzo kind of has that somewhat going, but that was made by someone that's a professional. This was done to basically utilize the fact that this miracle solution that was in that bucket, it is pretty hardcore, and that Nair just took everything off the hair except for little patches here and there. And it's funny because they invented a new word, and they said nothing after this. We invented a new word for you, and Marcus Louis, you are. Let me spell it out for you: BAWLD, bald. I was like, my God, that was hilarious. So yeah, I love this. I love this storyline. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to continue. I think obviously the heel's got to get some on Enzo and Cass this next time. I think maybe to strike the next, I think that the Legionnaires like jump Big Cass and cut his ponytail off or something like that. I think that actually might be a good idea. This has got the long hair. So it's time for another match. And I like the pacing of these shows too. This pacing is awesome. 2 hours fly right by if you're watching NXT. We go to our NXT Women's Championship match. It is Charlotte taking on Bayley. Bayley has new music. Bayley has like streamers hanging from like her arms. He kind of like you know, the best way to describe it is like Rocky Maivia at Survivor Series when he debuted. That's the best way I can describe it. And this, of course, is to solidify the fact that Bayley is not just another comedy actor, another pretty face, which she's definitely a pretty face, but she definitely can go. And she's going to prove it here in this match against Charlotte. This match was good as well. And we pick it up midway through. Charlotte's got the figure 4 head scissor upon Bayley. And she flips her forward, and she does that 3 times. Bayley rolls her up 1, 2, and a kick out. Counter roll up 1, 2, and a kick out. Sunset flip counter to the figure 4, and Bayley with small package 1, 2, and a kick out. Charlotte stops momentum with a drop kick. Steps on Bayley's face. Goes for a scoop slam, gets countered, roll up 1, 2, and a kick out. Anita Bayley cuts off any sort of momentum she has, and she nails a leaping forearm. Charlotte nails one of her own, and then Bayley starts doing repeated forearms over and over again, charges in, shoulder block, and misses the elbow in the corner, and she charges in. Charlotte catches her. Bayley gets spun around and snaps her back with her knee on the face. Gets a 2 off of that. Goes up top for the moonsault, gets caught, and Bayley punches her off. Bayley with the forearms in the corner, puts her on the buckle, climbs up with the forearms, and hits the Bayley Kanrana off the top, 1, 2, and a kick out. So she goes for the hugplex. It gets countered. Waist lock, standing switch reversal, O'Connor roll, and of course this gets reversed. Excuse me. Charlotte ends up doing a schoolgirl roll up, sending her head, the back of her head into the turnbuckle, which we've seen her use it a couple of times before. It's like the bottom buckle. Stomps her down, goes up top for the moonsault, does connect 1, 2, and Bayley kicks out. So Charlotte's got to wonder what she's got to do to put Bayley away, and of course, she grabs her by the ponytail, you know, the Deb ponytail from Napoleon Dynamite that I love so much, and hits her with the somersault diamond dust, which of course is the, now not the bow down of the queen. They've renamed it the natural selection, and I think that actually works pretty well. So after the match is over, Sasha Banks comes out, doesn't look as dolled up as normal. She actually looks kind of, she looks attractive when she's not wearing too much makeup. And she comes out, she gets up in Bayley's face, and she pie faces her, and Charlotte gets in the ring and is like, this ain't gonna happen. Pulls her former BFF brethren out of the ring, and she bombs out. So we have set up a 3-way feud between Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks, and I think that's probably what we're going to get, and I don't have an issue with that being the case. I think that they may wait a little bit longer to pull the trigger on Charlotte on the main roster. So, if that's going to be the case, and I think these three as a collective are going to feud for a while. And then, of course, you throw in matches with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, and you have maybe Emma come down, or maybe Paige come down to work a bit. Do like the champion versus champion match that we never really got the right way. They pretty much got ended before we can really go any further with it. So yeah, I think the women's division in both companies for NXT and TNA actually are really successful. WWE's women's division, yeah, it's not seeing its better days. Obviously, Paige and AJ bring it every single week, and there are some talented ladies in that division, but yeah, by and large, most of it is just joke 2-minute matches, and they really need to do something about that. This match is the reason I need this drink. Main event time. NXT Championship on the line. It is the man that gravity forgot, your current reigning and defending NXT Champion, Adrian Neville, defending against Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, and Sami Zayn. This match was phenomenal. And you could see this match... You can see this match pretty much, not any independent show, but this looks like some of the match of the year candidates that everybody keeps talking about, that keeps happening. We're in September now. This is actually a legitimate match of the year candidate that might actually win. This match was awesome in every way possible. If you are not a fan of fast-paced, high-spot wrestling, then you probably would not necessarily have liked this match. But everything worked and everything had a point. Everybody had a chance to win, a legitimate chance to win, some more so than others, and everyone had everything to gain and everyone had everything to lose. This match was where Adrian Neville had to prove why he's the NXT champion, and this match was to prove why Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd belonged in contendership for this championship, and all four came out looking like stars in this match. This match was awesome. Let's pick it up midway through, shall we? So, an elbow to the neck from Tyson Kidd. Sami Zayn gets tied up in the ropes, kind of like Sabu style, and just like Sabu, Tyson Kidd comes off the top with a guillotine leg drop, 1-2, and a kick out. Ties Sami up in the Tree of Woe, and he reigns with the knees in the midsection, charges him with a knee, and he knocks Neville off the ring apron. Smart move. Apron kick into the head, straight in the face, actually, to Neville, and he nails the hesitation drop kick from the charge onto Sami Zayn, rolls him over 1-2, and Zayn kicks out. So a right hand, and then they trade punches, and then the knees in the corner from Tyson Kidd, and Kidd locks in a chin lock. So Neville comes in, and a boot to Kidd. Neville gets tossed to the floor. So Kidd whips Zayn and charges in. Zayn gets the high elbow up, and Neville with a flying forearm to Tyson Kidd. Clothesline, whip in, and a high back body drop to Tyson. Tyler Breeze comes in and sends Neville down to the canvas, and Sami Zayn, clothesline, comes off the ropes, gets popped up, counter drop kick to Tyler Breeze. Breeze gets knocked to the floor. So Zayn charges, and of course, Neville springs up and hits an acai moonsault to Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze as they're on the floor. So Neville stares down Zayn in the ring, because he's like, hey, what happened? You blew my spot. So Neville gets on the ring apron, and we're about to see Neville and Zayn go at it, and the fans are going crazy. Zayn takes off his elbow pads. It is time to fight. So he ducks the right hand. Neville brings up the spinning back kick, front kick, spinning back kick, comes off the ropes, drop kick to the side of the head, charges in, goes for the razzle-dazzle, gets caught by Sami Zayn, and drops him right on the top of his head. Kind of a backdrop driver, but not really. Kind of like a dangerous backdrop driver. He had him hooked, and it looked like he wanted to do something different, but he ended up kind of just dropping him sickly on his head. Gets a 2 off of that, because Tyson Kidd comes in and kicks Sami Zayn off. Tosses Sami out of the ring, and he puts him on the buckle. He climbs up, 3 forearms, a headbutt sends Tyson Kidd off. Kidd tosses Sami up into Neville. They collide. Neville gets knocked off the top rope, sending him to the floor. So Tyson Kidd tosses Tyler Breeze, a boot in, and he catches Breeze with the Golden Gate swing, which I'm now going to name the Calgary Stampede swing. You know, the swing Fisherman's Buster, the moss-covered 3-handled family credenza that Perry Saturn used to use. Yeah, looks awesome. Got a 2.5 on Sami Zayn. Double leg, goes for the sharpshooter. He gets kicked off. Zayn with a monkey flip gets countered. Kid hangs on, goes for the sharpshooter again, and he gets kicked off to the ring apron one more time. High kick and a springboard elbow by Tyson Kidd, and of course, Zayn has the wherewithal to get his knee up here. Charges in, and when he goes for the charge, he's going for the haluva kick, and he eats the beauty shot. He nails the supermodel kick on Tyson Kidd, and Neville leaps off the top and Breeze with a Pillman counter. Stack up pin, 1-2, and a kick out. Makes a cover on Tyson Kidd, 1-2, Kidd kicks out. Tyler Breeze throws a Johnny Tantrum. Tyler puts Neville on the buckle. Climbs up, Tyson climbs up, and a double superplex is set up by Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze. Sami Zayn underneath both men. And we get a Tower of Doom spot. Sami Zayn, with one arm on each guy, power bombs Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze as Kidd and Breeze are double superplexing Tyson Kidd off the top. Excuse me. Adrian Neville off the top. I wrote the wrong list here. Sorry about that. So Zayn falls on Kidd, 1-2, and a kick out. So Zayn punches Kidd all the way into the corner, like so much Frosty with his punches. He knocks him in the corner. Stomps in there. He charges in. Neville kicks him right in the face. Neville goes up top. Kidd charges in. He eats the boot of Neville. Neville hits a shooting star press on Sami Zayn, and Tyler Breeze tosses Neville, tries to steal the win, 1-2, Sami Zayn again kicks out. So he charges in again, goes for the beauty shot, Zayn ducks, Kidd locks Breeze in the sharpshooter, and Breeze tries to get to the ropes, is almost there, and Tyson Kidd drags him in the middle of the ring. Tyler Breeze is going to give it up right here. We're going to have a brand new NXT champion. But it was not to be, because right as Breeze was about to tap out, and you could tell he was because his arm was coming down, Neville slides in with an arm bar to stop the tap out. So Zayn breaks the hold. Zayn and Neville trade forearms, and they look vicious as all get out. Zayn gets caught with a spinning back kick, charges in, he gets backdropped over the top rope to the floor. Tyson Kidd charges, Sami Zayn hits the exploder suplex in the corner. Zayn nails the tope onto Neville over the rail into the crowd, and then does the same thing he did to Cesaro at Arrival, and he does the dive through the ropes into a swing DDT to Tyler Breeze on the floor. Zayn's about to win this thing. So he gets in the ring, and he charges in. He finally nails the haluva kick. 1, 2, Neville pulls the ref. Fans are booing this one. So Sami gets out and gets in Neville's face. Neville just decapitates him with a super kick. Tyson Kidd, of course, has been laid out by the haluva kick in the ring. So Neville super kicks Sami Zayn, and of course, all the other competitors are out of this at this point. Neville takes the opportunity, goes to the top rope, hits the red arrow in Tyson Kidd, 1, 2, 3, and Adrian Neville retains the NXT Championship. This match was awesome in every way possible. And I'll tell you right now, this really gave a lot of believability that any of these 4 superstars could have walked out either retaining or winning the NXT Championship by the time the match was over. I really liked this match a lot. I really did. I like what storylines you've created here. This isn't over between the 4 of them, not by any long shot. And now you have laid the seeds for an Adrian Neville heel turn. And I think that's actually going to be a really good idea, because the game plan here, the end game that I've been talking about since day one, is the fact that they need to put the NXT Championship on Sami Zayn. And that seems to be what the crowd wants. Now, the thing about that is, in order to do that, you have to give him a lot of trials and tribulations. And like I said, when Zayn wins, he can face Cesaro, and they could have like a 30-minute Iron, 60-minute Iron Man match, and everyone wins. So yeah, that's something we could do easily. But beyond that, I will state that Tyler Breeze comes off looking amazing in this match. He's definitely going to be a superstar on the main roster for years to come if he keeps putting on performances like this. There is a rumor that they actually want to pair him with The Miz, have him join The Miz Taraj. So yeah, it's interesting that they do that. So yeah, it's funny because all 3 of those superstars in The Miz Taraj, I actually have, I have all their shirts. So yeah, not their personal shirts, but yeah, I bought all their WWE shop merchandise. Sorry. I like buying wrestling shirts, I just do. But yeah, this match was really good, and Tyson Kidd has come a long way. Now, this is a Tyson Kidd, obviously, that we haven't seen since the days of the Hart Dynasty and the stuff he was doing with with Harry Smith. And obviously the Tyson Kidd that indie fans would know from the Stampede Bulldogs. So yeah, this is something I'm glad to see. Tyson Kidd is actually back in the front instead of just the background. And I really thought that he came off looking great in this match. Neville, I never thought he'd retain, but obviously if he did, they have a reason for it. So I'm really interested to see where we go with this. And Neville turning heel seems to be just what the doctor orders. From top to bottom, I really enjoyed NXT TakeOver. I would definitely recommend a lot on the show, actually. If you want to see the Ascension finally lose the tag team titles, watch the tag match with the Lucha Dragons. It wasn't the greatest match, but it was good for what it was, and it worked pretty well. And I would definitely state that Sylvester Lafort and Enzo Amore and Bull Dempsey and Mojo Rawley are things that you could have skipped if you really wanted to. Like if this was, okay, you know how WWE sometimes does the shows, like when they do Raw, when they put it on Hulu, they kind of skip certain things. These are two of the things that you could skip. But I understand why you do the hair versus hair match, because it actually has a purpose to be on the show. So yeah, I wouldn't skip that based on that fact. But Bull and Mojo Rawley, whatevs, I don't care. Bayley and Charlotte was good. I enjoyed it for what it was. Bayley is really coming into her own, and Charlotte is starting to grow on me day by day. And the main event was just fantastic. So yeah, check out NXT TakeOver when you get a chance. You'll be glad you did. And for those of you that were wondering if NXT were going to be back on Raw this week, it sounds to me like they are actually both the NXT champion Adrian Neville as well as Tyler Breeze and Sami Zayn are all booked for the Raw and SmackDown tapings. The Raw that's airing tonight and the SmackDown that's going to air on Friday. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be involved with the show. Will Tyler Breeze join the Miztourage, or will we see maybe a three-way for the NXT Championship on Raw tonight? I hope so. It's my last WWE show before I go on vacation. So I'd like to see that. Well, I started off with NXT, obviously, because we always started off with NXT, and now I'm going to go into SmackDown, which is something I'm not as excited about. We started off the show with actually a match, not a promo. It is the current WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso, teaming up with The Big Show and Mark Henry, taking on the Wyatt family, and this time, of course, it being Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, as well as Stardust and Goldust. I refuse to call him Gold and Stardust, because that's lame. So, this match didn't end quickly. It actually went pretty long. Went about 11, 12 minutes. Pick it up midway through, Jimmy with the flying body press on Harper. And the clothesline, sidekick to the ribs, right hand, ducks the clothesline, catches Harper with a Samoan drop, and catches the kick, spin around, enziguri kick to Harper, goes for the Rikishi special, and it's set up. He charges in, and Jimmy gets backdropped to the ring apron. Jimmy falls off the ring apron and kind of lands gingerly on his leg, kind of like we already have Jay is hurt, so now Jimmy has to be hurt. But this pretty much goes nowhere after we come back from commercial break, so no issues with that. Tagging to Stardust, 2 shots, tosses him in, 1-2 and a kick out, tag back into Goldust, pushes him off the ropes, and a clothesline to the back of the head of Jimmy Uso, 1-2 and a kick out. Tagging to Luke Harper and a European uppercut, a right hand, a chop, shoves him off the ropes, Uso sunset flip, 1 count only. Harper with a drop kick gets a 2 on Jimmy and tags in Rowan, knee drop, and of course the double fist to the head. It gets punched out, stopped with a knee lift, and he comes off the ropes. Rowan eats a Samoan drop, tagging to Goldust, backdrop. He kind of sort of lands on his feet, but not quite. Goldust eats a super kick, tagging Stardust, tagging the Big Show, comes in with a clothesline, whip in, charging clothesline, whips him into the opposite corner, charging clothesline in the opposite corner, shoulder block off the ropes, goes for the choke slam, and Goldust comes in. He goes for the Goozle on Goldust. He's got Goldust and Stardust both set up for choke slams. Double boots to the knees of the Big Show, going for the double suplex, and they actually connect with a double suplex on the Big Show. Mark Henry nails Goldust. The Wyatts knock Mark Henry to the floor. Goldust and the Wyatts start beating down Henry on the floor. This allows for Jimmy to nail the Samoan suicide dive to all 3 on the floor. Stardust breaks out the beautiful disaster, since we haven't seen it since Cody Rhodes disappeared. I don't know where Cody went, but yeah, he's using his move, so there. And a drop kick, tag into Jay out of nowhere, the KO punch to Stardust, Samoan splash, finishes at 1-2-3. This was all over the place. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if we see some sort of this match on Raw tonight, because SmackDown seems to be the show that most people miss. So I would state that most of the matches you see on SmackDown are repeated on Raw, or a version of them are repeated on Raw. The problem is sometimes the SmackDown match is actually better than the Raw match. Actually, most of the time, SmackDown match is better than the Raw match. So yeah, it was alright for what it was. Just formulaic 8-man tag. So we get Kane talking to Seth Rollins and Randy Orton in the back. Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns, they won't forget what's going to happen tonight. Rollins knows what makes Roman Reigns tick, of course. Obviously he does, because they both were in the Shield together. Tonight we're going to finish him off for good. Randy Orton and Seth Rollins are going to destroy a wannabe rock star tonight. So of course that's your main event later on tonight. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton taking on Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns. But we have to go into other matches. So Bo Dallas in action against the returning Justin Gabriel, we haven't seen in quite a while. Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter at ringside, and Bo, of course, gets on the mic and says, "Most of you are destined to be failures." Gotta love Bo Dallas. "But you can all be America's sweethearts. So I want you to please rise, put your hand over your heart," and Zeb's like, no, you're not gonna do this. And he says something like, he's Ariana Grande, he doesn't even know who that is, because apparently he was told to say that by some WWE writer. And he calls Bo Dallas a snake oil salesman, which made me laugh, and very carny, because that's where the snake oil salesman comes from. And unless you saw A Million Ways to Die in the West, you probably don't know what a snake oil salesman is in this day and age. So the younger fans are like, duh, what was he talking about? Zeb probably should have said, "Bo, you are a liar." And everybody's like, "Yeah, Bo's a liar." But no, they didn't. So we get the actual match. Bo with a short arm clothesline on Justin Gabriel. Locks in a chin lock, and Gabriel creates separation with a jawbreaker out. Stiff kicks and a forearm, and he ducks the clothesline of Bo, catches Bo with a flying forearm. Gabriel with a spinning heel kick, and he charges him with a forearm, goes up top for a flying body press. And, of course, he's about ready to get the win here. He goes for a short arm clothesline. It gets countered. Justin Gabriel with the STO on Bo Dallas. Seen that a lot lately. A lot more people are using it now. Springboard moonsault misses, and Bo Dallas kicks him in the head, swinging Bodog, not a running Bodog, because that's a regular Bulldog, and gets the win. After the match is over, Bo is arguing with Swagger. They kind of get into a little, scuffle, and then Swagger's about ready to get in the ring. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to let you have it." And when Swagger pounces into the ring, Bo heads for the hills. So we're going to continue Bo Dallas and Jack Swagger. I don't have a problem with that because I like both superstars, and we're continuing to see what happens when Jack Swagger is trying to be a babyface when he's not facing someone that's from another country. Some of the fans are still with him. I really like what they're doing with Bo Dallas right now, especially because a lot of people said they weren't going to do anything with him. Next match. Paige against Summer Rae and the feud from NXT that ended way too soon. This match is short. AJ's on commentary, of course. And Summer Rae locks on a legs Nelson. Copyright my good friend the Jugulator. On Paige. Paige bridges back 1-2 and a kick out. So the body scissors is applied and Paige gets on top and rains down the headbutts. Short arm clothesline on Summer. Tosses her in the ropes. The repeated knee strikes. Looks at AJ, devilishly, and locks Summer Rae in the Black Widow. Blows a kiss after the match is over, of course. And Layla comes in. Of course, she was with Summer Rae. And AJ is like, anything you can do, I can do better. And of course, she does a spinning back kick to Layla. And she nails Layla with the Page Turner. And she blows a kiss back at Paige and skips around. I kind of love this angle, I really do. It's a PG era now, which this could go a lot further than it will, but I don't mind what they're doing with this. I think it's actually working really well, and I think that the match at Night of Champions is going to be a whole lot better than the match at SummerSlam. I didn't hate the match at SummerSlam, I just think that both are much more capable of putting on a better match. So our next segment is Rusev and Mark Henry doing the arm wrestling challenge, because apparently Mark Henry has to do weightlifting things. He did the tug of war steez before, and now he's doing the arm wrestling again. We see arm wrestling challenges a lot in wrestling nowadays. Lana is surprised that Mark Henry accepted because he is needing to embrace the American way. And what is the American way? That's give up. Just like when he failed at the Olympics. Because, of course, he had to back out due to an injury. And Mark Henry basically says that it was one of the worst days of his life when he had to withdraw and he wanted to support his country, and he wanted to fight for his country, and he wanted to, like, be there, and he couldn't, and now he gets a chance in this storyline to defend his country against the evil Russians, America. So, yeah, they lock up, and this is after Lana dedicates the win to Vladimir Putin, of course, who still looks like Anderson Cooper. I'm sorry. And they lock up, and Rusev kind of jerks away. He's like, this grip's not working for me. Puts the weightlifter's chalk on, and then Mark Henry, they finally lock up again. Mark Henry wins. Lana wants a rematch, but left-handed this time. So they lock up again. Lana tosses the weightlifter's chalk in the face, and a stiff kick from Rusev right to the back of the head. Hits the Muay Thai kick, and no accolade needed. He just left Mark Henry laying in a pile of weightlifter's chalk. I don't mind this. Mark Henry doing double duty is not a problem with me, but I really wish they would do something, like, decide what they want to do with him. They want to put him in a team with a Big Show, which I'm not a big fan of, pun not intended, or do they want to do this angle with Rusev? I think the angle with Rusev actually works a whole lot better. So, Renee Young's in the back with Chris Jericho, and Jericho said that the match on Raw was one of the best cage matches in Raw history. Not sure I'd go with that, but it wasn't bad. He took chances, some of them paid off, some of them didn't, and he lost, pretty much on his own terms. But when Randy Orton attacked him, he should have finished the job off, and he didn't. And now, of course, he will never, ever be the same again. So now we get to one of my favorite storylines right now, and that is The Miz and his stunt double, Damien Mizdow. And, of course, this is a tag team action. The Miz comes out with Sandow completely doing the Miz's shtick, it's amazing, because they're like, it's a mirror. It's like, Miz will do something, and Sandow will completely copy it. It's brilliant. I really love it so much. Dolph Ziggler, of course, is out, wearing the Intercontinental Championship, and he says, for one night only, he has his own stunt double, and it's R. Ziggler. Here comes Truth out in Ziggler's gear, doing the exact same mannerisms as Dolph, and I actually like this. I like this feud, if this was like a tag team feud, this would be even better. Because obviously they're building towards the Intercontinental title rematch with Dolph and The Miz at a Night of Champions next weekend. But still, this Raw that's going to be shown tonight on television is actually going to be the go-home show for Night of Champions. So, I'm going to end right before I do the pay-per-view. Sorry, guys. But, duty calls. Gotta get a Diagon. Now, let's pick this matchup, shall we? Miz with a chin lock on Dolph. Dolph flips him forward, and The Miz grabs his foot, going for the figure 4. Dolph kicks him off, and tagging it R. Ziggler. I called him R. Zig. I realize that's probably not a good idea, but that's what I wrote down for my shorthand here. He nails Dolph's hooking clothesline, a regular clothesline. He goes for the charging splash in the corner, he goes for the 10 punch, he stops, knocks Mizdow off the ring apron. A boot to the face to R. Ziggler, and a boot off the ropes, tags in Mizdow, he goes for a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So he boots him off the ropes, gets the 2 off of that, drags him to the corner, tags in the Miz, so they cut the ring off here. So, R. Ziggler punches his way out of the corner, and ends up getting caught with the reverse neck breaker to the knee, and Steve Corino's old school expulsion, 1-2, and a kick out. Tags in Mizdow, he comes in, and he goes for the same sequence, but he gets countered into a backslide from R. Ziggler, 1-2, and a kick out. Single leg tags in The Miz, and The Miz ends up dropping a leg and getting right up in Dolph's face, saying, "You can't do anything about this. We're going to take your boy out." So he chokes R-Truth on the middle ropes, and tags Sandow back in. He drops the elbow to the knee, setting up for the figure 4. And he gets kicked off, chest first into the buckle. Tags in Miz, he punches Ziggler off the ring apron, and R. Ziggler catches him with a beautiful exclamation point DDT. Miz tags out, and Dolph gets tagged in, ducks the clothesline from Sandow, hooking clothesline, charging splash in the corner, and reverse neck breaker connects, goes to the name dropper, ducks it, boot in, and he goes for the skull crushing finale, does Mizdow, flipped off, name dropper connects this time, Miz makes a save, starts pounding away on Dolph in the mounted punch. Truth comes in, hits a scissor kick, and ducks Dolph's punch, and he nails Whew, excuse me. The zigzag actually connects from R-Truth and gets the 3 count there. So, this match was fun. It was a fun little match. I enjoyed this. I don't want to talk about the commentary because, my god, I just don't want to talk about the commentary. But yeah, this was fun. I like that they're really progressing this mid-card feud. And something WWE has not been doing for a while, and that's progression of mid-card feuds. And I think this actually works pretty well. And I hope it does continue. Main event time. Because I don't care about what's going to happen with the Divas Championship right now because there's too much, like, gaga surrounding it. And I don't mean Lady Gaga. It's officially been announced for Raw tonight that there's going to be a tag team match with Paige and Nikki taking on Brie and AJ, which is hilarious because Brie and AJ had a nice little feud. So, yay! Let's forget about the past. So, yes, that's going to happen on Raw tonight. Oh, goody gumdrops. So, yeah, we're not going to talk about any, like, the recap crap. I'm not going to talk about the Springer stuff because I already talked about that on Raw and how much I'm disliking it. So let's talk about the main event, shall we? Seth Rollins and Randy Orton taking on Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns. We pick it up midway through the match, and Orton is choking Roman Reigns on the middle rope. So Roman punches Rollins. Orton charges in with a clothesline and Roman Reigns in the corner. 1-2, and Roman kicks out. So locks him with chin lock. Gee, shock, surprise. Randy Orton with the chin lock. And Roman Reigns creates separation with the backdrop Uranagi, and that's how he gets out of the move. Orton tags in Rollins. Rollins comes in, and Roman Reigns tags in Jericho. Jericho goes up top, crowns Rollins, and elbows Orton off the ring apron. So he shoulder blocks Rollins, comes off the ropes, and gets tossed to the ropes. And basically, to me, it looked like he caught him with a good old-fashioned Jericho sleeping neck breaker, like a sleeper hold into a neck breaker off the ropes. Double leg and a slingshot, sending Rollins hard in the buckle, rolls him up, going for the walls. Orton comes in, Jericho breaks the hold and nails Orton for good measure. Boot in, Jericho with a face buster, goes for the lion salt. He gets stopped by a straight right hand from Randy Orton, knocks him off the ropes. 1-2, and Jericho kicks out. So tags in Randy Orton, he stomps away on Jericho, drops the knee, 1-2, and a kick out. So Jericho catches him with 3 chops, comes off the ropes, and the snap power slam from Orton, 1-2, and Jericho kicks out. The well-placed stomp, and he's kind of grinding in on the ribs. Tags in Rollins, and Rollins nails the 3 amigos to Jericho, comes off the ropes, and he backdrops Rollins over the top rope to the floor. Seth comes back in, cuts Jericho off, drags him to the corner, and tags in Randy Orton. Orton stomps him right in the face. Chinlock is applied in the corner, and a clubbing blow, like a standing chinlock, is applied, and he's clubbing him in the chest, and whip in, charges in, he gets the boot up. Jericho hits the middle rope missile drop kick to Randy Orton, tags in Roman Reigns, clothesline, punches Rollins off the apron again, charging clothesline in the corner, and Samoan drop. Randy Orton lands on his feet. Rollins comes in, Samoan drop to Rollins, and a boot in. Orton with a St. Louis uppercut. Caught from Roman, knocks him back to not like a jawbreaker lariat, but basically like a rebound leaping clothesline. Tosses Rollins into Orton in the corner and charges him with a clothesline. Sandwiches Rollins into Randy Orton. A right hand to Rollins knocks him to the floor. A punch to Orton, of course, knocks him quite precariously across the bottom rope. Gee, again, shock, surprise. Tags Jericho, goes up top. Excuse me. Alright, count this here. Punches Orton in the corner. Leaping drop kick. And the mounted punches back in the ring. Rollins springboard gets caught. And he's lifted up. Double goozle in the air. Seth Rollins ends up getting clotheslined over the top rope to the floor. There we go. Tagging to Jericho. Goes up top. Flying body press to Orton. 1-2. And a kick out. Back outside. We have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins fighting on the floor. He clotheslines Rollins over the barricade. So they're fighting in the crowd now. Back in the ring, Jericho charges in. Orton makes him eat the back elbow. Catches him with a 3.0 backbreaker. And Rollins and Roman are fighting in the crowd. Orton signals for the snakebite DDT. It gets countered. Jericho rolls him up from behind. 1, 2, and 3. Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns win this main event on SmackDown. It was okay. It was a good match for what it was. I would probably say it's one of the better matches on the show. And I know what you guys say. Oh, and you're really low on Roman Reigns. Like, no, it's not quite there yet. I mean, I think it's going to come eventually, but it's not quite there yet. The SmackDown just is okay. Opening match was alright. Bo Dallas and Justin Gabriel just basically done, so Justin Gabriel can get on television, and Jack Swagger and Bo Dallas can be progressed. I don't have a problem with that. Paige and Summer Rae was only done so Paige and AJ can get progressed. I like the Miz and Mizdow against R. Ziggler and Dolph Ziggler. I thought that was awesome. I love the utilization of the stunt doubles. I think it works really well. Main event was fine for what it was. It was alright. So, Raw tonight, like I said, this is the go-home edition for Night of Champions, and of course, because of that, Brock Lesnar is actually going to be in attendance, so he's going to have a nice little stare-down with John Cena, and there's not really much announced for the show, so interesting to see what happens on Raw tonight, so there's always that. And I will recap that tomorrow for you guys, and I will be, like I said, at midnight, I will do an Impact recap from last week. That is a guarantee. I'll shoot it early Tuesday, because I have all day to get the last-minute things ready before I leave for Orlando early Wednesday morning. So I will make sure you get a wrestling recap on Wednesday. And also, coming later in the next couple days, like probably tomorrow, I'm going, actually guaranteed tomorrow, I'm going to be doing another video. My last video before I leave town and head towards Columbus is actually going to be letting you guys know what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to be doing next week. So we're going to talk about that in great detail. And of course, if you are a regular viewer of Pop, you continue watching the theme park content, you're going to get a ton of it these next 2 weeks, and a lot of the Halloween Horror Nights content, again, you're going to get a ton of it in the next couple weeks. Maybe some Hallow Scream stuff, that's still up in the air as of this moment, and definitely have daily videos, if not one, if not 2 or 3, and AJ will make, no, he's not making the trip with me, and neither is Ashley, obviously, because Ashley lives in the UK, and AJ doesn't get on planes. So AJ has 2 movie reviews for the next 2 Fridays, and 2 verses for the next 2 Sundays. They're going to be in the can, and Ashley's going to have his Gaming with Ash segments already in the can as well, so they're going to be continuing. While I'm out of town, I will make sure that they are still front and center here on Pop, alongside me. So, that being said, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you haven't yet, go to Facebook and click like on our Facebook fan page. It is Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and find out about my awesome adventures in Orlando, you're more than welcome to do so. That is at Sir Owen Disney. Or if you'd like to send me a regular friend request, you can do so on Facebook at Owen Disney. Or if you'd like to chat with me in another form, maybe become a popcaster yourself, you want to talk wrestling with me, either WWE or TNA, you want to talk Disney or Universal, Halloween Horror Nights, you want to just ask me questions, you can do so by shooting me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.